It is step one of our manifesting masterclass. And I think back to when we have done this, and I know some of you guys have been on here, we've been doing this together for years now. And each year, as I change and evolve, I have new insights, new breakthroughs. I'm so curious to hear kind of when we're done with this, what our perspective for all of us is on manifesting. I'm not saying I have all the answers on anything, but I have learned a lot through my own experiences. And I want to share a little bit of that with you. It kind of sets the background for why I feel so strongly about this practice. And I've always been someone that when I have goals, I go after them with all that I've got, a whole bunch of gusto. But I really have always kind of efforted through a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like, kind of maybe sometimes done that the hard way, the long way, the hard way. Um, and oftentimes, the things that would get in the way for me are just beliefs I had about how it needed to come to be. That I had to work hard. If I didn't keep grinding, it would go away. That kind of sometimes those feelings of, scarcity that a lot of us grew up with. And at some point, you just get tired and you just, you say to yourself, you know, is there a way that I can find a life that feels really good to me and it not always feel like it might slip through my fingers? You know, about 5 years ago, I found myself, and this is 2020, so we're all in a kind of a crazy place, but I found myself feeling like I should be happier. Like objectively, when I look at my life, I should be happier. And why am I not like as happy as I know I could be? Like I felt like there was like this something in between me and how I knew I could potentially feel. And so I went to this place. Some of you may remember. I went to this place called 40 Years of Zen. I went out into Seattle in October of 2020. And the promise was to help you unlock more of your potential. And me being a type A thought that sounded like a fantastic idea. And so I get there, and what I come to learn is really what's holding us back from our real potential is old stories and wiring and hangups and grudges that we have yet to let go of. Basically, the things that we have not yet let go of, truly let go of with love and just let it go, are like snags that you keep getting caught on. And every time you can release something that's no longer serving you with love, let it go. It's like cleaning the windshield so that you can see more clearly through your life. And I say this all as if that's like an easy process. It really is. And I will encourage anyone who feels like they've really got some things that they really need to work through that are bigger than you or me. I just want to encourage you to go seek professional help. I think that's why we have professionals who can help us work through things. And I will always encourage you to do that. There are also things that are day-to-day things, grudges and gripes and hangups that you and I can let go by ourselves. It's really a matter of choosing to do that. And I really do believe that this clearing of the path is what creates the fastest track to manifestation. I really have come to realize that I see life through my belief systems, right? My reality is through the eye of the person, right? It's my personal reality, is through my personality. It's the lens through which I believe things to be true that I will see them. And so, Wayne Dyer says when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. And it really does make a difference. And knowing that you can let go of an old story that you don't have enough time, that you're too late, that there's not enough to go around, that everybody else has already done it. If you can find a way to let go of those stories, that you have to be there for your kids 24/7, whatever the story is, when you realize you can put that down, everything starts to shift and new opportunities are open to you. And so this is what the first part of this exercise is about, because There are for all of us. And, it's interesting because I do this practice regularly throughout the year. And not only will I get some news stories, but old stories will resurface. Like, biggest one is, who are you to do this? Other people know how to do this better than you. Why do you think, right? That whole story of like, who do you think you are comes like raising its head again. And so when you are looking to stretch yourself, to step into something that you don't know what it's going to look like, those stories will rear their heads again to try to pull you back into what your brain considers safety, but is really just stuck. And so every time you feel like a story is coming up, you can do this exercise. What's beautiful about it is you actually don't need scissors and a ribbon because you can do this in your own mind. And so there's many opportunities. Hopefully it will be in shortly, but I just recorded the cord cutting ceremony and put it onto Insight Timer. And so as soon as it's approved and through, then I'll send you guys the link and then you can just go back and do that piece of this whenever you want, whenever you feel fear, resentment, that it doesn't serve you. And I also think this is the last thing that I'll say before we kind of get into a little bit more of this. Um, I don't like to shame myself for having beliefs, right? There are times in your life where your beliefs were created out of necessity and you've outgrown the the timeline where that was a necessity. So it's hanging around, but you're now here and the belief is still kind of dragging along behind you. And so you can release all of it with love. And, when it comes to just also people, this is the hardest part. And this is where, again, I would say talking to a professional is really helpful. But if there's someone that you have a hard time forgiving, it's really powerful to remember that all of us just ended up here on this planet. We did not ask to come, or we might have, and we forgot when we got here, whatever you believe, but we all just showed up into a story, right? Into a time, into a family, into a town, into a part of the world. And a lot of our beliefs were created before we really had any agency over it. And everyone is walking around with the same set of individual stories and we're all just bumping into each other. So if that helps you pull back and just have grace for all of us, it really is a practice I do regularly. Because a lot of people in the world on the national stage drive me bananas. And so I have to like pull back and try to not drive myself crazy and see how I can loosen my grip on these things that can really take me out of alignment. Alignment is everything. I find the fastest way to get into energetic alignment is through gratitude. Gratitude puts you into a place. It's very hard to feel negativity and full gratitude at the same time. Like if you really step into gratitude, you're opening up yourself energetically to say to the universe, more of this feeling. Give me more reasons to feel this way. And so it's not just if you can find kernels of gratitude, you start to open up the pathway to say, universe, bring me more things that make me feel this good. So as we get started, if you grab your notebook, you can just start with, and I would say this is actually a beautiful exercise that you can do at the end of every night. You just want to keep your notebook besides your bed. Is just write down 5 things that you're grateful for right now. So just take a second and jot down 5 things that you're grateful for. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and clear your space and get yourself comfortable with your notebook. And we're going to run through questions. I'm not going to play music on here because sometimes it interferes with the sound when I go to upload this, but let me put it into the chat. You can turn music on, you don't need it. But I created that Spotify playlist that I sent you guys earlier. And if you want to click that and turn on a song, you can do that as well. So I'll give you a second if you wanted to turn that on. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you something else before we start the presentation. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure I've got it on the right screen. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. I'm going to share my screen in just a second as we kind of jump into it. But I have been playing with oracle cards. This is one of my favorite ones. It's called the Sacred Traveler. And so I decided to pull a card for us as we're getting started. So let me get this popped up. Okay, so this was really fun. I love when things like this happen. um, this was the card I pulled for us. It's called Breaking Trail. A breakthrough is at hand. And this is what the card said. It's not about following the path ahead, but creating your own trail. It's time to stop standing on the edge of life and just take a leap. Your patience is going to pay off. Old limitations and inner blockages are dropping away. Ah, ah. Don't let fear keep you from moving forward. This is truly the time to allow yourself to experience the fear, but do it anyway. Something for which you wanted a long time is about to come to fruition. Don't be afraid to jump in with both feet. Your efforts will help create a trail for others. Okay, amazing. I just loved that. So we are going to start in, actually, I'll leave it right here for a second. We're going to start by grounding ourselves and just getting ourselves into, let's make sure everybody's muted. There we go. Get ourselves into the right energetic space. Okay, so take a second, close your eyes. We're going to do a couple of meditations, but this is just to ground us. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Take a big inhale through your nose and let it out with a sigh. One more time. In through your nose, out through your mouth. You can repeat silently to yourself or after me. I am ready to step into this new era of my life. To my past, I say thank you for the wisdom you've taught me. To my present, I say thank you for the gifts all around me. To my unseen future, I say thank you for all that is yet to come. Okay, when you're ready, go ahead and open up your journal and we're going to get started. Now, rules of engagement. You're going to jot down as just free flow. Do not let yourself be censored as you're journaling for yourself. Okay, your mind, you'll notice your mind saying, no, 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 don't write that down. Write down whatever comes to mind. And I'll give you some time in between each question. And then you may want to come back and do this whole thing all over again because you might just new things might arise for you. Okay. So, first is what words would you describe about how this year went for you? What words? Just jot down words. What happened this year that you're really proud of and grateful for? What were some of the challenges you faced and how did you handle them? In what ways did you show resilience? Similar to the last question. Resilience is so key to our personal growth, and oftentimes we don't stop and acknowledge what we've accomplished, what we have endured, and and sometimes we can kind of like gaslight ourselves into being like, oh, that was nothing. And really stop and acknowledge yourself like you would to a best friend. Did you or did you not establish some healthy boundaries for your well-being? Say more. What negative energy or drama do you want to leave behind? And it's interesting with negative energy and drama because they really have like a really strong hold on us, kind of almost a little addicting, addicted to the drama. So be honest with yourself, start to make this list. If there's something that you're like, I would eventually love to not care about this anymore, for it to no longer be something that ignites me in a not a positive way. Give you a few seconds and we'll switch the page and go to a few more. I find personally that once I start writing, then the ideas really start to flow. So just keep the pen going. The sounds of New York. I'm sure everything's fine. Okay. All right, moving on. What ended this year that you need to mourn or release? Endings come in many shapes. They can be the loss, literally the loss of a loved one, family member, a pet. It can be the end of a relationship, including friendships, changes in your business, changes in your living situation. It can be anything, and we can be upended in the most craziest of ways. So, what ended this year that you need to mourn and release? Who would you like to forgive? What stories do you need to release? I when I went to 40 years of Zen, one of the hot topics for me personally, my hot topic was my relationship with my father, who passed away when I was in my early 30s. And what I realized was there's a difference between being resigned, like understanding it intellectually and being like, it is what it is, whatever, and actually forgiving. So I really thought I had let it go because I had kind of said whatever, but I hadn't really forgiven. And so once I did that, it really changed everything for me. And what I realize is if you really want to, you can forgive just about anything. What can you forgive yourself for? I think a lot of us can be really hard on ourselves for not knowing what we didn't know when the only way to learn it was to go through what happened. Like we know now because of what happened, but we're mad at ourselves that we didn't know what we didn't know. And just really loving and embracing all the parts of yourself, even the messy parts. What can you forgive yourself for? Are you someone that remembers if you didn't do something the right way and it drives you crazy? What can you forgive yourself for? What beliefs have shifted for you this year? And it can be good or bad. What beliefs have shifted for you this year? It's interesting as things happen and we grow and we learn, the way we see things really does change. And how the more you learn, how your perspective can really shift. Are there any patterns that need to be broken? Any habits that need to be strengthened? So, any basically any habits, whether it's like thought habits, social media habits, the way you talk to members of your family, are there patterns that you're like, I've outgrown this, right? No, I'm sick of myself doing this. Or there's some habits that you've started that you say, yes, tea at night. I'm gonna have a cup of tea at night instead of wine. Like what are the habits that you want to really nurture and what are the ones that really need to go? And anything else that's nagging you that you're ready to let go of? Anything else? Anything else nagging? Something might just be coming up for you. That's something that you really want to hone in on. And then the last question is, what are the key lessons that you want to bring forward? What key lessons do you want to bring into the new year and why? I'm going to give you just a minute or two to tidy up your journals here. And all right. I'll give you just a few more minutes to get this done. Something else I wanted to mention. We're going to take some time. You're going to go through this list and you're going to break it into two main categories. So you can put a G next to the things that you're grateful for, and you can put an R next to the things that you're ready to release. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put these into two different lists. So you've got your grateful list and you've got your release list. So I'm just going to give you another minute or two. Start to jot those down. And if you had to focus on just one right now, it would be the release list. A lot of people on social media at this time of the year do their out and in, out this year and in this year. If you've seen the in and out lists, this is our out list. So We're making our out list, which I love because next week we're going to get together and we're going to make our in list. And this out list is so key. Okay, take a few minutes, get this finished, get it as good as you can, and then I'm just going to check in with us. I'll let you, if anybody's not ready, I'll let you know when to say. If you're not ready, I'll give you another minute or two. And if you're ready, you can go ahead and grab your materials. So you want your release list in front of you, and then you want your journal nearby. And then if you're going to do an actual energetic cut, an actual cut of a string, you want the scissors and the string. It's gonna be great. Okay. Let me know if you need more time in the comments if you need more time. Okay, I think we're good, friends. All right, let's go ahead and, all right, you've got your list. So you've distilled your list this year. I'm grateful for. Moving forward, I'm ready to release. You've got your two lists. You really want to hold on to that release list, and we're going to get into it. Okay, so go ahead at this point, and you can shut off your screen if you want to do that. That might be even more powerful for you to shut off your screen. You can lay down, or you can sit up. It does not matter. Whatever makes you most comfortable. Okay, we're going to get into it again. I'm not going to play music on my end because I don't want it to interfere with the replay. So if you want to play music on your end, please feel free to go ahead. All right, friends. We're going to, again, close our eyes. Take a couple of breaths, just regular breaths, in through the belly and out through the mouth. So in up your nose, press that belly out, press the diaphragm down, and a sigh out. A few more times. We're going to turn this into a box breath. One of my favorites, really beautiful for balancing the nervous system. And when you focus on your counting and focus on your breath, it draws you right into the very present moment, which is where everything is always happening. So go ahead and empty out your breath. And we're going to breathe in through our nose for 4 counts. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 2, 3. Let's do it again. Here we go. Hold. Exhale. And hold. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale, sigh. And hold. Again, inhale. Fill all the way up. Hold. Exhale with a sigh. Shake out your tongue. Ugh, hold it. Last time, inhale. Hold. Exhale, big exhale. And just go back to your normal breath, keeping your eyes closed. Start to imagine or envision the energetic connections around you. We just talked about the feelings and the frequencies and the energetic alignment. Find those energetic connections that are all around you that represent the threads that you're looking to release. So these energetic threads could be past experiences, relationships, patterns and behaviors, beliefs that no longer serve you. Notice their qualities. So some may appear vibrant and light, while others feel heavy and dark and rooted. Some may be seen as threads or ropes or streams of color, however you sense them. And they might be attached to different parts of your body. So you might find that some are attached to your throat, some might be in your heart, some might be in your solar plexus, which is right behind your belly button, and some may be in your root, kind of down in your root chakra or up in your third eye. Just notice where they are and observe without judgment, knowing that each chord represents something. And some of these you are ready to let go of with love. Breathe through it. Think back to your release list. Find those energetic cords. See where they're sitting in your body. And when you're ready, either if you don't have, if you're going to do this through your mind's eye, you're just going to envision a pair of golden scissors. And if you're ready to actually represent this, go ahead and open your eyes, grab your ribbon or string and your scissors. Repeat these words aloud or in your mind as you start to cut these cords. I let go of what no longer serves me to make room for new growth. I release what no longer serves my highest good. I choose healing in forward movement. Beautiful. When you're done, close your eyes again. We're going to do some Reiki energy here. I want you to imagine that there is a beam of golden light above your head. And as you inhale, you're going to pull that light from the top of your head into your heart. So inhale, pull the light into your heart. Hold and feel that warm, loving, protective light. Exhale and let that stretch through your whole body from your eyes to your toes. Let it stretch out. Let's do that again. You can take your hands and bring them into your heart center. Imagine that white light. Inhale. Take another sip at the top and hold. Feel the power of that white light. Exhale. Let it go through your whole body. You're loved and protected. 2 more times. Golden white light. Inhale into the heart center. Take another sip at the top. Feel that power. Exhale. Let it go through your whole body. 1 more time. Inhale. Hold it at the top. Feel that white light. And exhale. Bring it through your whole body. Beautiful, beautiful. When you're ready, gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes and make some small movements. You can stretch if that feels good for you. And when you're ready, you can start to open your eyes. I want you to grab your notebook right away. We've got a couple of journal reflection prompts before you lose this thought and we go on with the rest of life. How do you feel in your body right now? What emotions are present for you? Catch them while they're here. Emotions are temporary, so you will forget and move on. It's great to remember how this made you feel. How did it feel to cut a cord? Any insights come up that you don't want to forget? Oftentimes, it's a very courageous statement you make, and your brain will be like, nah, that won't work. Just write it down and notice if anything feels different. As we move on with the rest of the day, I just want to remind you to stay hydrated, drink lots of tea, move gently. Um, you can consider taking like a salt bath, something to like really take care of yourself as you try to take time to allow this feeling to integrate, right? It's not like we cut a cord and we're like, oh, I'm cured. We still have to kind of put the practice into place. I would consider thinking about doing this again, even over the course of the next week. I think typically what happens for me, hold on, let me put us all, see if I can get us all back together. I don't know if I can do a remove pen. Here we go. View gallery. Okay. Um, I find that after I do something like this, my subconscious brain is thinking of more things. So, right. So I'll do this exercise and then tomorrow I'll be like, oh, I have something that like was hiding in there that needs to get out. So allow that to happen. Allow yourself to do this a couple of times. I like to do it on new moons. And I love to also, I'll just say this as we continue to go through this whole process. I love going through this whole process again during the spring equinox because I really feel like for me, the new year kind of begins when, and I know this is true for a lot of cultures, the new year really kind of begins for me when spring comes. Like that's when I feel like I'm like coming back to life. I'm still wintering in winter. So so yeah, find another time. I think we are, we're ever changing. The world is ever changing. As we evolve, new stories arise, old ones resurface. We outgrow things as we grow. And it's always a useful exercise. So I'm going to stop the share.